Maulana Rehman leads a Deobandi Sunni political party. The alliance has been talking about launching street protests for months, but it never took off, as some of the parties are not in favour of a lockdown. The Pakistan People's Party and the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz have conditionally offered their support to Maulana Rehman. Maulana Rehman has the support of some powerful people, most probably Zio pigs and Narendra Modi. I don't have to go into detail of what's happening. In my previous videos I did warn that the Deobandi sect has been hijacked by the Saudis a very long time ago, which now has a direct link to Narendra Modi, and this is the sect which is now going to be used against Imran Khan, but they will fail, I promise you.
Requirement of Akhir Zaman in terms of education and knowledge is different from that which preceded Akhir Zaman. The intellectual challenge is far more difficult. The scholar of Islam in Akhir Zaman has to be heads and shoulders above those who came before him. Today we can't even scratch their toenails, those who came before us. Akhir Zaman, you require the scholar who is in the path of Khidir alayhi salam. And the one who is on the path of Khidir alayhi salam is superior to conventional knowledge. None of our institutions of Islamic learning producing the scholars of Islam recognize this. No, what they're churning out is conventional scholarship. And the conventionally educated scholars are incapable of dealing with the challenge of Dajjal. What is the requirement of the moment? How do we address the problem? Before we turn to your question, how do we recognize the one who is blessed with spiritual insight? I have been living a fairly lonely life, teaching Ilmu Akhir Zaman in many parts of the world, before the internet came. When I began to lecture on riba in New York about 20 years ago, they closed all the masjids, the doors of the masjid to me. If this man was a lecture on this subject, we'll get no more money for the masjid, because everybody in riba. When he began lecturing on Gog and Magog, they said he's mad, he's crazy. This was 20 years ago. Now because of the internet and because of events which are unfolding in the world, alhamdulillah, large numbers, particularly young people in so many different parts of the world, are now convinced that this is correct. What we need is to produce scholars.
According to WikiLeaks, Deobandi or Ahl Hadith Maulanas, which is what Fazal-ur-Rehman is, have common plans. They prey on the young and vulnerable. They go out to meet families and work to convince the parents that their poverty is a direct result of their family's deviation from the true path of the religion through idolatrous worship. The Maulana suggests the quickest way to return to favour would be to devote the lives of one or two of their sons to the religion which is closely aligned to Saudi's interpretation, i.e. Deobandism or Ahl Hadithism. The Maulana will offer to educate these children at his madrasa and to find them employment in the service of the religion. The concept of martyrdom is often discussed, and the family is promised that if their sons are martyred, both their sons and the family will attain salvation, and the family will obtain God's favour in this life as well. An immediate cash payment is finally made to the parents to compensate the family for its sacrifice, and that's exactly what Maulana Fazal-ur-Rehman is there for.
How do you recognize someone with spiritual insight? If he says, I have spiritual insight, run away from him. If you find in him any intellectual or spiritual arrogance, run away from him. If you find him humble, if you find him with kindness in his being, and if you find him displaying a capacity to see what others cannot see, and the explanation which he delivers, even though no one else is giving it, turns out to be accurate, there is your servant of Allah who is blessed with spiritual insight. I'm surprised. I get emails from my students, and when I get these emails, I feel as though I'm the most ignorant man on the face of the earth. They are blessed with such spiritual insight already. MashaAllah. I didn't think of that.